This is Danny Gould with the Gould team, selling Silicon Valley. Welcome to another video. In this video series, I'm going over all of the details from not having your license all the way through to getting your very first deal, and all of the steps in between and all the pitfalls in between as well. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Danny Gould. In just 4 short years, I've sold well over $60 million worth of real estate and have now made well over $1 million in gross commissions. First of all, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. Plenty more content just like this coming straight for you. So I really want to take all the knowledge that I've gained over these 4 years. I've seen many agents get into the business and fall out of the business. And so I know exactly what it takes to succeed and exactly what it takes to fail. So without further ado, let's get started. Before embarking on this journey of getting your real estate license and becoming a real estate agent, the first thing that I encourage everyone to do is to understand the time and fiscal commitment that it takes to really succeed in real estate. I think a lot of people see what's on TV, they see these $1 million listing shows, all these shows on HGTV, and it does glamorize the business to a certain extent, but it also really pares it down and makes it seem a lot easier than it really is. Whatever the price point is in your area, let's say that it's $300,000, right? It's really easy to calculate 6% of $300,000 and get really excited. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that getting started in real estate is extraordinarily difficult. Now, it's not impossible, but you really have to make sure that you're ready to make the financial and time sacrifices necessary to succeed in this business. So what do I mean by financial? Well, the reality is that when you get started in real estate, there's a lot of fees up front, right? First of all, you need to pay for your licensing course, which could be several hundreds of dollars up to maybe even $1,000 depending on where you're taking your courses. Not only that, but every state has an application fee to take the exam and to process your paperwork. Then, once you get your license, you have to pay board dues for whatever Realtor association you belong to. And by the way, you need to be a realtor. You can't just be a real estate agent. You should really join your board because you also need access to the MLS. All of these fees altogether could be several $1,000s. You also have desk fees associated with sitting at any brokerage. And by the way, don't join one of those brokerages that doesn't make you pay any desk fees, because those are actually the worst ones. If you don't have to pay anything to sit there, they're not going to provide you with the resources and the training that you need to succeed. So cut it out. Don't join one of those brokerages. You also have MLS dues, which are a huge expense right up front. My MLS, I believe, is close to $1,000 per year, and that's just the multiple listing service, not to mention all of the other fees. In many cases, you're not going to get your first deal right away. So you can expect to have maybe 3 to 4 months before you get your first commission check if you're lucky. And so that's 3 to 4 months of desk fees that you're going to have to pay before you see any sort of check come through. Also keep in mind that there's a lot of expenses once you get into the office, right? If you're going to pass out flyers, you need to print out the flyers. And a lot of real estate brokerages charge their agents to print. In terms of getting new clients right off the bat, a lot of the methods that I'm going to be suggesting to you later on in a different video series are actually pay to play. In other words, you need to give some sort of upfront capital in order to gain access to these tools so that you can prospect to get business. A lot of these tools are a couple $100s per month, and that starts to add up. Now, I don't want to scare you guys into thinking that it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars to get into real estate, but just to recap, you have your educational materials at the beginning, plus your board dues, plus your MLS fees, plus your desk fees. In addition to your desk fees for 1 month, it might be 2 or 3 or 4 months before you get your first commission check. You're also going to be paying for potentially prospecting tools that are going to enable you to reach more people in a shorter amount of time. That also is an additional expense. In total, with all of those expenses, depending on where you live and which brokerage you join and which prospecting tools you decide to buy, you could be looking at anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to $7,000 before you see a single paycheck. So it's not cheap to get started in real estate, but if you're willing to make that financial commitment to yourself, you're already halfway there, because that financial commitment is going to force you to be on your A game. The other commitment that you're going to have to make up front is understanding that being in real estate takes time. It takes a lot of time. If you're going to be investing all this money into yourself, you need to make it worth it. In previous videos, I've gone over some of the things that have really helped me be successful in real estate. And one of the things I talk about is that activation energy in those first 2 years. The first 2 years that you sell real estate, you need to be committed to putting in 50 to 60, maybe even 70 hours per week to really make sure that you're maximizing the financial input that you're putting into your business. Because that financial input is only going to be worth it if you put in the time to match that financial commitment to really take you to the level of success that you ultimately wish to achieve. There's also a lot of time involved up front in terms of studying for and ultimately getting your license. And so you need to be prepared, whatever you're doing right now, to really set aside some time to prep and study for your exam and get through the courses. I was rather fortunate in the fact that I had just graduated college when I decided to get my real estate license. And so I used some of the savings that I had to really tide me over, and I was able to focus primarily on doing the state courses and studying for my exam. Now, I understand not everyone has that luxury, so make sure that you set aside some time, at least, I would say 10 hours per week, to make sure that you're getting through the courses in a timely fashion and ultimately setting yourself up to pass that exam. All right, great. So you've decided to make the financial and time commitment required to be successful in real estate. Great. As long as mentally you are clear on that, perfect. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is super simple, guys. It's just signing up for the state courses. Every state is different, so make sure you do your research. In my experience here in California, I was able to sign up and do all my courses online. I believe most states allow you to do your courses online. In terms of an online school that I recommend, I personally recommend Real Estate Express. There's an affiliate link down below if you guys are interested in signing up for Real Estate Express. It's actually one of the more convenient options because you're able to just go online and do all the courses online. And not only that, it's actually very, very inexpensive compared to a lot of the other courses, especially the ones that you have to take in person. Admittedly, I do get a commission through that link, but at the same time, you guys will also be saving by using that link down below. So it's a win-win. So once you've signed up for your exam and got the ball rolling, we come to number 3. The third step is to research top local real estate teams in your area that you can latch onto. If you've watched videos of mine before, I've stressed the importance of joining a team. We are currently in a rapidly shifting industry, and the reality is that it's really hard for solo agents to make it. This is going to require a significant amount of outreach to find a good match, but the reason that I suggest this is twofold. Number 1, by working on a team or a small brokerage, before you get your license, you're going to be able to learn the business a lot faster. Not only that, but you're also going to be able to make some money theoretically while you do it. Number 2, it also gives you the ability to figure out whether or not you want to do this on a team or as a solo agent once you get your license. I know that a lot of people that are watching this video want to do it on their own. And you know what? When I got started in real estate, I did too. But if you've watched videos of mine before, you'll know that I struggled through my first 3 to 4 months before I joined a team. And in those last 8 months of my first full year, I closed 9 deals with that team, which led me to make well over $100,000 in my first year. So I would encourage you that if you're thinking about doing this as a solo agent, to cast your ego aside and really learn from the people that are doing this at a high level. A really good example of what I just described is my team member, Hans. Hans actually got started in real estate a full year before he got his license, working as my assistant. At the time, I didn't need a full-time admin, and so what I did was offered Hans a part-time administrative role while he learned the business. In that entire time, he got immersed into the culture, and he started learning all of the scripts and the dialogues and the techniques and the daily grind that it took to be a real estate agent. Flash forward a full year to when he got his license and started selling real estate, it really only took him a month to find clients to start working with. And now he set himself up with a pipeline that is almost 10 buyers deep. Think about that. Wouldn't you like to have a pipeline that's 10 players deep only a few months into the business? He's currently a student at San Jose State, and he's going to make a lot of money in his first year in real estate simply because he didn't let his ego get in the way of his success. Another reason to join a team at the beginning and really try and work as an admin or work in some capacity with the team before you get your license is because you're going to be able to take part in some of their trainings. Now, you want to be very sure that the team that you join has a good training system in place, or at least belongs to a brokerage that has resources and training readily available for brand new agents. If you join a team or you start working as an assistant for a top agent and you quickly realize that there are no systems or trainings or resources available to you, leave. The reality is the good brokerages, the good teams will have trainings and resources available for you so that you can execute at a high level from the very beginning. If you're currently working a full-time job or a part-time job and you really can't make that transition to being an assistant, then at the very least, find a mentor or a team to latch onto during that 6-month process that it takes you to get your license. And in that time, go to as many meetings as you can. Go to as many trainings as you can. Really leverage the resources that they make available to people that are getting their license. There's a lot of brokerages out there that have a lot of pre-licensing orientations, trainings, resources. I mean, they really want to set the new agents up for success. And so if you can find someone in your marketplace that gives that to you, you're going to be way better off than if you just study for your license and try and find a brokerage or a team to join after you're done with your license. So that, guys, wraps up this first part of our 4-part video series. If you found this video useful, go ahead and smash that like button down below. If you have any comments or questions for me, you can leave the comments or questions down below. And if you guys have any questions or topics that you'd like covered in a future video, you can go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. And who knows, I might make a video on it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This is Danny Gould with the Gould team, selling Silicon Valley, and I'll catch you all in the next video.